Alright guys, so before I start this video, I just have to say, if you are bored at home and you just want to get some boxing in with your siblings, parents, or maybe if you got kids, I just gotta say, just check the link in the description below. They're absolutely amazing headgear, and yeah, so just make sure to go check them out. I'd greatly appreciate it. Alright, now, let's get into the video. Nate Maness versus Johnny Munoz Jr. is a bantamweight bout. Nate Maness has achieved a record of 11 wins, 1 loss. Johnny Munoz Jr. has achieved a record of 10 wins, no losses. Johnny Munoz Jr. is actually making his UFC debut, as all 10 of his previous fights have been inside of KOTC. His first 8 fights that he won were against people with records that were worse than .5, making him only beating 2 guys with records over .5. His last 2 fights were the only fights against actual competition, but still, both of those guys are still not the best competition. So when he comes into the UFC, it's gonna be a huge step up for him. Alright, now let's take a look at his opponent, Nate Maness. Nate Maness actually ended up winning his first 10 fights, with only one of his opponents having a record lower than .5. And 5 of those wins actually came by decision. 2 came by submission, and 3 came by KO. After those 10 wins, he fought a pretty good fighter in Taylor Lapoulis, and he was winning the first 2 rounds, but in the 3rd round, Taylor threw a sidekick hard enough that it knocked the air out of Nate, and he ended up losing that fight because it just took all the air out of him, and he couldn't compete anymore. After that loss, he fought Kellen Van Camp, and he got the KO win in the 1st round. Alright, so both of these fighters are obviously good fighters, but as we know, Johnny Munoz Jr. has basically only fought bad fighters, while Nate has been competing against good competition basically since he started in MMA. That leads me to my decision. I'm going to have to give the win to Nate Maness by decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or just have something to say, make sure to put it in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to get back to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.